What you're looking at represents industrial manufacturing from 300 BCE. This level of coordinated production, this degree of technical sophistication, challenges every assumption about ancient capabilities. The Han Dynasty Chinese didn't stumble onto paper making. They engineered it. Harvesting. These bamboo forests are managed resources. The workers are selecting stalks between 3 and 5 years old. That's when the cellulose-to-lignin ratio is optimal. Younger bamboo has thin cell walls. Older bamboo becomes too woody. They're targeting Moso bamboo, which reaches 70 to 90 feet with 7-inch diameters. The axe strike hits just above the first node, minimizing rhizome damage for faster regrowth. Notice the standardization. Every stalk cut to 40-foot lengths. That's not arbitrary. It's predetermined by the transport infrastructure. This is coordinated harvesting operating at industrial scale, processing hundreds of stalks daily. Transport. These carts are engineering achievements. 60 feet long, riding on 8-foot solid wooden wheels, carrying 40 tons. 4 elephants per cart, because load distribution requires it. 80,000 pounds, demands multiple animals working in coordinated harness. The harness system distributes pulling force across the elephant's chest and shoulders, avoiding spine pressure. Lignified. That's the polymer that makes wood rigid. Lignin prevents fiber separation and causes paper yellowing. Beneath the bark are vascular bundles containing high cellulose concentration, long-chain glucose polymers forming plant cell walls. That's what paper makers need. The curved bronze blade matches bamboo's cylindrical shape. The smooth pulling motion, not sawing, preserves underlying fiber integrity. 2 workers per station. One handles blade work requiring grip strength. The other manages material flow. This is task specialization, division of labor, implemented 3,000 years ago. Trampling. Multiple workers move in synchronized patterns for specific reasons. Random individual trampling creates uneven processing. Some areas overcrushed, others underprocessed. Coordinated movement ensures uniform pressure distribution across all material. The rhythm, through singing or counting, maintains consistent pace and shares physical effort. They're using feet because human feet provide force plus tactile feedback. Several hundred pounds per square foot of pressure while simultaneously sensing material resistance. After hours of trampling, recognizable bamboo strips become fibrous mass. Soaking in lime. These pools are engineered structures, 40 feet square, 6 feet deep, holding 72,000 gallons. The water contains calcium hydroxide at 2 to 4% concentration, creating pH levels around 12 to 13. This alkalinity breaks down lignin and pectin, the polymers cementing plant cells together. The bundles stay submerged 45 to 60 days because chemical penetration is slow. Lime must diffuse through bamboo's entire cellular structure. Workers test progress manually. When fibers separate with gentle pulling, soaking is complete. This is empirical chemistry without instruments, calibrated through generations of observation. Strips become fibrous mass. Plant structure destroyed, replaced by separated fibers. Boiling. Cast iron cauldrons hold 150 gallons, maintained at 90 to 100 degrees Celsius. Boiling serves 3 functions. Heat accelerates lignin breakdown that lime began. It releases natural starches that will bind finished paper, and it sterilizes material. 2 workers per cauldron stir in opposite rotational directions. Parallel stirring creates a single vortex pushing material to edges. Counter-rotation creates turbulent mixing, ensuring even heat distribution. This continues 4 to 6 hours with rotating shifts. Standing over boiling cauldrons that long causes heat exhaustion. They test completion by texture. When individual fibers separate with minimal resistance, it's done. Beating. This granite surface has worn concave from decades of use. The workers alternate mallet strikes. When one descends, the other rises. This pattern prevents fiber compaction into solid mass. The alternating creates vibration, keeping fibers somewhat separated while being broken down. It also allows brief recovery between strikes, preventing arm fatigue while maintaining continuous processing. Each strike generates 200 to 400 pounds of force, concentrated into the 8 by 4 inch striking surface. This crushes individual fibers, ruptures cell walls, separates cellulose microfibrils at nanoscale. They flip and redistribute fiber between beating sessions, add water to maintain proper consistency. After hours and thousands of strikes, the fibrous mass becomes uniform pulp, smooth suspension where individual fibers are invisible. Sheet forming. The principle is simple filtration. The pulp is 2 to 3% fiber, 97% water. The bamboo screen mold has mesh spacing of 1 to 2 millimeters, wide enough for water drainage, narrow enough to catch fibers. As she lifts the mold through suspension, gravity and random fiber orientation create three-dimensional network. Fibers crossing in multiple directions, creating mechanical entanglement. The subtle side-to-side shake redistributes fibers, evening out thick spots, and it aligns fibers slightly. This alignment increases contact points between adjacent fibers. Paper strength comes from hydrogen bonding, cellulose hydroxyl groups forming weak electrostatic attractions with adjacent molecules. Billions of these bonds create cumulative strength. Each worker produces 300 to 400 sheets per day. This facility operates 20 vats simultaneously, 6,000 to 8,000 sheets daily, 2 million annually. This is industrial production. Pressing. The stacks, 100 sheets with hemp cloth separators, go under 50-pound granite stones, sometimes wooden screw presses. Pressing expels 80% of remaining water in 12 hours. It also increases paper density by compressing the fiber network, pushing fibers closer, increasing future bond strength. But pressure must be gradual. Sudden pressure creates brittle sheets. Gradual pressure allows water escape while maintaining fiber network flexibility. Drying. The bamboo scaffolding provides air circulation around each sheet. Drying rate affects quality. Too fast causes warping, too slow allows mold growth. 6 to 8 hours is ideal. As water evaporates, fibers draw closer. Hydrogen bonds form permanently. The wet, flexible network becomes stiff, strong sheet. Fibers locked by molecular forces. Workers rotate sheets not drying evenly. Collect finished ones. The complete process, harvest to finished paper, takes 3 months and 12 stages, each requiring specialized knowledge and coordinated labor, scale, and impact. By the Tang Dynasty, Chinese production exceeded 10 million sheets annually. Government offices existed solely to manage paper production. But in 751 CE, Arab forces captured Chinese papermakers at the Battle of Talas. Within decades, Samarkand had paper mills. By 900 CE, Baghdad became a major production center. Belgrad Tukstosh Divisimti CE. This is where paper transcends manufacturing. Baghdad's population exceeded 1 million. The House of Wisdom functioned as the intellectual capital of the world, translating Greek, Persian, Indian texts into Arabic, generating new mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy. But scholarship requires something to write on. Parchment cost 10 times what paper cost. Chinese paper arrived in massive caravan loads, thousands of sheets, making books economically producible. The impact was immediate. Between 800 and 1200 CE, Islamic scholars produced more scientific treatises than the previous 1,000 years of human history. Not because people became smarter, because they had affordable material to record ideas. Al-Khwarizmi developed algebra, documented in books that could be copied and distributed. Ibn Sina wrote the Canon of Medicine, 6 centuries of standard medical text, possible only because paper allowed such lengthy works. Islamic scholars preserved Greek texts on paper that would have been lost during Europe's Dark Ages. Paper-enabled Islamic banking, written checks became standard. Government administration expanded. The Abbasid Caliphate managed an empire from Spain to Central Asia using paper for record-keeping. This technology spread to Spain, then Italy, then throughout Europe. Every subsequent knowledge revolution, Reformation, scientific revolution, Enlightenment, democracy movements, depended on cheap, abundant written material. Conclusion: what we've witnessed isn't primitive craft. It's sophisticated industrial achievement. The synchronization in trampling, beating, and stirring represented organized human effort principles Europe wouldn't formalize until the 19th century. The chemical knowledge in lime treatment and controlled temperatures represented empirical plant chemistry from careful observation across generations. The Chinese developed industrial production at scales that enabled the intellectual world we inhabit. That bamboo, transformed in mountain workshops 3,000 years ago, created the infrastructure for modern literacy, scholarship, and governance. That is the legacy of systematic process, coordinated labor, and accumulated technical knowledge that deserves recognition as foundational human achievement.